of just getting to the point and giving a you message, it will be ineffective. You see, with people, efficiency is often ineffective because slow is fast and fast is slow. So what if it took 3 hours? We've been living with this problem for months. So you see how important patience, self-control becomes in giving these kinds of deposits. Another powerful deposit is just what we might call patience and persuasion, rather than physical force and coercion. You see, there are so many ways you can influence people. The traditional influence is called, I'll give you this if you'll give me that. It's a kind of fairness principle. You know, I did this for you, now will you do this for me? Another very common approach is just simply to use your power. Whether it be position power, money power, physical power, or the use of whatever power, so that you come in with something that is strong and you have the power to make it happen. Now it happens. It's efficient. In the short run, you can usually get your way. The problem is that in the use of that kind of power, that force, that coercion, you have in a sense violated a relationship, a person, a trust. And you also built more dependency in you and in the other on that power. The opposite is patience, softness, gentle persuasion, empathic listening, basic respect. In other words, you're showing great love in every possible way. The cumulative effect of these kinds of qualities, at the end of the day, have a marvelous effect in relationships and enables you, perhaps at appropriate moments, to give feedback, even to become very strong in the giving of feedback, where you reprove a person sharply. But even in that situation, you immediately show a great deal of respect and kindness afterwards, because down deep in their heart, they know what you think of them. And what you think of them matters much more than some mistake which they're becoming corrected for. Patience and persuasion is an extremely important deposit. Patience is an active verb. It's not some passive quality, but a very dynamic, active quality in which it embodies the essence of faith, hope, and charity. We all violate these things from time to time. That's why we must cultivate another capacity, another kind of deposit, a simple ability to apologize with true sincerity. I'm sorry, I was wrong. I embarrassed you in front of your friends. Please forgive me. I got on an ego trip. That was unkind of me. I apologize. That was a terrible mistake. I wish I hadn't have said that. I apologize. The opposite, of course, would be a withdrawal, to be so prideful and arrogant, to not apologize, but to just continue to defend and justify the behavior, to explain, to cover up in some way. And people can sense that. You're going through some kind of a song and dance, and you're maybe apologizing half-heartedly, like saying, I'll say I'm sorry if you'll say you're sorry. Let's both say it at the same time. Sorry. I said it first. Yeah, but you didn't say it like you meant it. That kind of insincerity and manipulation and superficial apologizing doesn't work, because it isn't truly based upon character, upon deep, sincere integrity. It's better to go all the way and to say, when I embarrass you in front of your friends, that was absolutely wrong of me. I'm going to apologize to your friends as well. I never should have done that. I'm going to work to see that I do not do it again, and if I do, please bring it to my attention, and I'll apologize again. We constantly need to apologize because we constantly make mistakes. Now, sometimes people offend us, and they don't apologize. And this gets to the deeper part of our character. If we can learn to forgive when we have been offended, whether it be intentional or unintentional, that is an extremely powerful deposit. The withdrawal that worsens relationships and undermines your own self-esteem is to hold a grudge and to let it build up inside until it congeals. And then it begins to fester and manifest itself on the surface of your life. And it becomes a fundamentally deep, rupturing problem in relationships. You see, it isn't the snake that bites us that does the serious harm. It's chasing that snake that drives the poison to the heart. Far more damage is done in not forgiving than was ever done in the original offense. Now, the interesting thing about this is that if we have been offended, we should take the initiative. You see, most people will not do that. They'll sit and wait for someone else to take the initiative. And the reason why we do that is because our security comes too much from how we're treated. Then people get easily offended, and then they get into prejudices and labels and cutting humor, sarcasm and cynicism. It all protects them. But what if you could cultivate an internal source of personal security? You wouldn't need these emotional, mental defenses to protect yourself. You could afford to be more open and vulnerable. You could afford to forgive and allow people to change and to start a new day. In fact, to see them differently every day, to give them new chances every day. You don't hold grudges. You don't have to protect and get defensive. All of that is so unhealthy. It undermines the development of our relationships, our families, our organizations. That's why it's so important, in addition to our own kind of apology, so that we can learn to change ourselves, we need to allow other people to also change. We need to constantly forgive others, to let it go, to get the poison out, to forgive and forget.